I have a very interesting thing to start.
I have an interesting thing too.
You do?
I know. Lots of people are interested in it.
I'm hoping so. It better be.
Yes.
So what is it that is everyone is interested in, Mr. Bearly?
My golden dulcet tones.
Oh, okay. That
yes. That's it right there. Yeah.
Well, my interesting thing is I have an engineer friend, and her wife said to him, because she's lazy or something, go to the market and buy a gallon of milk, and if they have eggs, get a dozen. And so he came home with 12 gallons of milk. Because he's an engineer. And that was an interesting thing that happened.
So, shall we get the podcast going?
Let's just get it going. Moo.
Okay, moo. This is Bearly Furcasting, featuring Taebyn, an Injured Nerves audio production. All right. Socks, wallabies, the rails, off the rails.
Wallabies, oh my cow. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, greetings, salutation, and Moobarkfluff to all our listeners in the Podiverse. I am one of your co-hosts, Barely Normal, who's very informal, and with me is the Pup of Pups, the Maven of Maves. Is that right? I don't think that's the right words.
We'll just go with it. Sounds good.
Yeah, so Taebyn, how the fluff are you, Taebyn?
Well, hi there, Mr. Bearly. Yes, so all you friends out there, my name is Taebyn. I am a pup, bark, it turns out, and I'm here with the wonderful, illustrious Mr. Bearly Normal. How are you? Well, you asked me first, so I'll say, I've been great. Now I ask you, Mr. Bearly, how have you been?
Oh, well, this week has been a week of interesting things that have happened. So as many of our longtime listeners know, that my parents moved up here from Tennessee to Oregon so that they could be closer to me and be in assisted living. Now, we use the Pods Moving and Storage Company to pack their stuff up and ship it out here to Oregon. They left Tennessee with the pod company picked it up on the 27th of September, and they said it would be in Oregon on the 8th of October. So my sister drove up from San Francisco to help unload the pod. As she's halfway up there, we get a call from the pod company saying, oh, yeah, the pod didn't make it where it needed to go, so it's going to be there on the 13th.
Oh, they misdirected the pod or something?
Apparently, I don't know. So We're like, okay, so we called, and we were not happy about this, but we called, and we said, can we get it delivered on the 12th? And they said, absolutely, it's no problem. She gets here, and then on Monday, on Tuesday, we're calling because they said, by the way, it'll be here on the 27th, not the 12th. Now, that's a long window. Yeah. So
yeah, that's way off shot.
Way off shot. So the problem is when you call Pods customer service, the customer service people cannot call the logistics people, and they cannot call the warehouse people.
What?
Yeah, right? That's exactly it. They can only operate by email, right? That's the worst model of business ever.
I know we're in the technological age and everything, but we still have email and stuff.
Well, they could email them, but they can't call them.
We can still call people. I mean,
they're not allowed to call them. They don't even have their extension numbers or their phone numbers. And
what?
Right. And so we're elevating this. So my sister's on their online chat. I'm on the phone with them. We're talking to many customer service reps, and they're all, well, we're so sorry. We don't know where your pod is. At the last thing it says it's 450 miles away. And we're like,
what?
Well, how do you know it's 450 miles away if you don't know where it's at? So you just got a barcode on it.
Just got a radius thing or something?
Right. They scan it when it leaves a facility and when it comes into a new facility. And I know it didn't sit on a truck all the way, so it had to be scanned into various facilities along the way. So it was just this, I'm going to say it, I know this is PG, but it was a shit show. It was a literal shit show for this
you
pod.
Weren't happy with this.
No. And then so now I'm trying to. So I asked the customer service. I said, "Can I talk to a manager?" And they hung up on me.
What?
So I called back. Yeah. So I called back, and I got another customer service rep, and I said, "Can I talk to a manager?" And they hung up on me. So I called back.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yep.
This is true?
So yeah, and then so I finally got a hold of a guy that says, "Well, we can't just call a manager or transfer you to a manager because we don't have access to the manager's phone numbers. I can send him an email with a complaint form to have them call you, but we need to know what your complaint is. And I'm like, my complaint is you lost our pod. It's like, that's my complaint. And that you people can't talk to one another. So round and round we go. They finally call us and say the pod arrived in the shipping storage area in Wilsonville last night at about 7:00. And I said, good, you're going to deliver that first thing in the morning. Oh, no, your delivery window is still the 27th. And I said, no.
What? That's not far from what?
Right? Yeah. So I finally raised enough stink. Lo and behold, they changed the delivery window to today. They delivered it at about 8:00 this morning, and we got it unloaded. Now, here's the funny thing. You cannot, if you get onto the pod's website, you cannot find any number for anything other than customer service. You cannot find management. You cannot find, there's nothing like, they're based in Clearwater, Florida. Now, I started digging on the web. I found the CEO of Pods.
Oh.
The CEO is a gal, and she has a Twitter. So guess who I blew up on Twitter yesterday?
I want to take a guess. It wasn't Snoopy or Charlie Brown. It was probably Mr. Bearly.
Yes, I blew her up on Twitter. I found her on Wiki also. I blew her up on Wiki too. So I'm waiting for some responses from the pod people.
That was just today you did that?
No, yesterday. I blew them up on her. It's like, what kind of a company are you running where customer service can't solve anything? Because they can't solve anything.
And they can't even talk to like the people that would be able to, like managers and stuff.
Yeah, it's just so dumb.
Horrible. And so it got what? Wilsonville, did you say? So that's like an hour from you or something, and it was still going to take till the 27th?
Yeah.
Because they had to route it back to Florida and then to Canada and then Japan and what?
Yeah, it's like, well, we can't get any drivers under it. And I said, you know what? If that's the case, maybe Mr. Manager, you should get behind the truck and drive that sucker down here.
Manage it.
Mm-hmm. Do it. So that's why I was super busy today. It's been crazy. And I haven't been active in the chats. I haven't been active in anything. So, and then of course, my poor mom, she's got some medical issues. And she's trying to deal with talking to doctors. And we're trying to unload the pod. And we're asking her, where do you want this? Where do you want this? And she's like, I don't know. Just put it in the garage. I'll go through it later. I was like, okay, well, we'll put it in the garage and go through it later. That was exciting.
You've had a day.
I've had a day.
I feel so bad for you.
It's been a day and a half in one day. That's what that's been. So,
yeah. Wow. Okay.
But how about you? How about you?
Nothing as exciting as that.
Okay.
I wag a little bit, and that's about it. So
Fair enough. Well, when this episode comes out, we'll be knee deep in BLFC.
Knee fluff.
We will have the fluff up to our knees by the time this episode comes out. And, our listeners should stay tuned because we plan on dropping a bonus live recording from BLFC during BLFC.
It's
the pop-up podcast with the Pupcast.
So it's the pop-up Pupcast.
The pop-up
something.
Pupcast. Yes,
I can't
there
even
you go.
say that one time fast.
There you go.
Try saying that. Okay, challenge to you and to all you furs. Say that 5 times fast. Pop-up pop. I can't even say one time. Pop-up podcast.
Pop-up podcast. There we go. Pop-up podcast. The Pop-Up Podcast. There we go. So I understand you have a couple of panels at BLFC besides our Pop-Up Podcast. You're going to do story time, right?
Yeah, so I do have 2 panels. I have a story time with Taebyn. And if you first that have seen me or anything, know that I always do story time with Taebyn. And I'm also doing a Taebyn Sings Weird Al, quote-unquote, panel, which is just me singing some Weird Al songs.
That should be interesting.
It should be. We'll see how good. There's one particular song that I'm going to do that I'm particularly nervous about.
Oh, yeah?
We'll see how it goes. I'll crash and burn, and that's what I do. So
everybody will love your singing anyway.
I hope. Oh, you're so sweet to say it. I hug you type with pauses. We'll go with
everybody
that.
Loves Taebyn, so they'll give you all the pause support.
My wagging. Oh, are my cheeks red? Oh,
yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. Actually, your cheeks are blue and white, but that's okay.
But yes. After everything you said, they are making a temporary move to red.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Which brings us to our challenge. Our challenge this week. Which brings us to our challenge. Don't get red in the face, but our challenge is to go grocery shopping in your fursuit.
Oh my cow!
That'd be kind of fun to watch. Yes, as he comes home with a dozen gallons of milk.
Exactly.
Yep. So that's our challenge. And do you have a news item at this point? I think you do.
I do.
You said you do. What's up?
I do. I have a news item.
What's up, pup?
What's up, pup? Buttercup. Yes, I have a news item. And, well, you're going to know it's a total news item that I found on CNN today. After I say the first few words, you're just going to be like, oh, yeah, this is the most serious news item I've ever heard. So,
okay.
On CNN today, I saw this. A minister, a doctor, a lawyer, and an engineer are playing golf.
Okay.
So it's a news item, obviously.
It's a news item, obviously, yes.
CNN, what you going to do? So they're playing golf, and they get stuck behind a particularly slow foursome. You know, I mean, you go to a golf course, and every now and then you get unlucky, and there's like some people ahead of you, and they're so slow. It's like, come on. These four, they call over the groundskeeper and ask what the deal is. Why are they so slow? The groundskeeper says, well, those are 4 firefighters who were blinded in a terrible, terrible fire. We let them play here as a courtesy. And they all think, oh, yeah, that's actually really great. We understand. We're glad you do that. In fact, the minister says that's an awful thing, though. I will pray for them in church on this Sunday. The doctor says, I know a famous eye surgeon. I'll talk to him about their case, and maybe he can do something. The lawyer says, I'll look into their settlement and make sure that they got everything they deserve. So this is really great. They're taking care of these people, these firefighters. And the engineer says, well, why can't they just play at night?
That's 2 engineer jokes. That's 2 engineer jokes.
You mean a CNN news item?
A CNN news item, yes. Are you sure you are watching the Golf Channel?
That's why there was Tiger Woods in the background. Okay, I see.
Okay, you see, you thought you had CNN, but it was actually the Golf Channel.
The Golf Channel.
Yeah. I don't know how people watch golf.
Confused with the Bay Channel, because this is in the Gulf.
The Gulf. All right.
That was horrible. All right. Oh, my cow.
Oh, that was so bad. We're going to talk about the past. We're going to talk about the past today. Let's go. Let's just move right ahead.
Move.
Move. Before we get into it, all comes back to 9. I want to talk about Pandora's Box. Now, last week, I mentioned something about Pandora's Box in the trivia section.
Oh, yeah.
And I had said that we had talked about Pandora's Box on the on the podcast. We hadn't.
Oh,
it was,
okay.
Yeah, it came to me as I was editing the show that last year I was playing trivia online with my sister and their trivia group. And everybody took turns being the host and had to come up with trivia questions. And I had come up with a question about the Pandora's Box. And so it was the day before we did a podcast, so my brain put them all together as one thing.
I see.
So,
brains do that, I think.
Yeah, they do
Mine
that,
does.
yes.
Wow,
yeah.
Mine is fluff all over.
So that's why I thought we talked about Pandora's Box, but I apologize. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa, as the Italians say.
So what does mea culpa mean?
Mea
pizza?
Culpa?
Does it mean
pizza?
It means
pizza,
is good?
Yes. Pizza.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
so
it's a mea culpa. It's what do you put your coffee in? It's a mea culpa.
Mea culpa.
It's a mea culpa.
Me mumbai, mea culpa.
No, it means apologies.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I'm at fault. Mea culpa, culpability at fault.
I see.
So Mia's, I'm at fault. Yeah.
That's an interesting. I just earned an CEU on this episode.
Yes, you did.
That's amazing. You're amazing.
Yeah, it comes from the Italian.
And from cheese sock.
Cheese. Oh, don't put cheese in your socks. That would be
Actually,
so bad.
Don't do
God,
that.
if you think your feet smell bad now, put cheese in your socks.
Oh. Put some Limburger in there and.
No. Shredded cheese is bad. No.
Yeah.
So tell us, we did math last week, and you talked about it all comes back to 9. And you said you're going to address that at this part of the show this week. So tell us.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, last week's math, I talked about the Collatz conjecture, and it was very interesting, at least to me and everything. And for whatever reason, it reminded me of how it, quote unquote, all comes back to 9. And so just really quickly, I want to talk about what I meant by that. It's really interesting, actually. So if you take any integer, positive integer, and multiply it by 9, you'll get a number. And if you add up all the digits in that number and then keep adding up the digits until you get a single number, it will always come back to 9. So
Wow.
here's a few. It is wow, actually.
That's wow. That's very wow. Yeah.
It is very amazing, like mathemagic almost. So here's a few examples. So 7 times 9 is, barely went away. I was going to have him say what the answer to 7 times 9 is. He went away because it's like, oh, Taebyn's just going to like talk about math again. So I'm just going to go away and rummage through my little backpack here. Like, you should see this. He's like actually gone away and rummaging through his backpack. Now he's back. And so
you could have kept going, but I'm sorry.
Well,
something happened. Something happened. I had to take care of something.
No, things get the dock fell.
A box fell.
A box. Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
So
I think I have ghosts.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun, or something. Anyway,
you were saying.
So, how it all comes back to 9. So, for example, 7 times 9 is.
I have no idea. Math was never my strong point. What is 7 times 9? 63.
63, right? And so 6 plus 3 is.
Wow,
is
I pulled
9.
that out of my hat. Wow, I pulled that out of my hat.
Good for you. That was very smart, very amazing. So yeah, so you add up the numbers. 6 plus 3 is 9. Now I won't ask you to do this in your head, but 468 times 9 turns out to be 4,212. So 4212. What do you get if you add up the numbers 4212?
212. So it comes up to 9.
Yeah. Now 874 times 9 turns out to be, plug it in the calculator, 7,866. What is 7 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6?
7 plus 8 is 15. 6 is 21. 6 is 27. You add up 2 and 7, and it comes up to 9. Wow.
Comes up to 9. And how about one more example?
Okay.
So 695,872 times 9 is 6,262,848. So you've got 6262848. So add those up.
Okay,
we get
so 62 is 8.
Yep.
62 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12, and then 8. So now I carry that down. So I'm doing factoring.
Yeah,
factoring.
No. So you want to
so 8 plus 2 is, or 8 plus 12 is 20, and
right,
16.
I see.
And then 16 plus 20 is 36. 36. 3 plus 6 equals 9.
Yeah.
Wow.
It all comes back to 9. And you can do it with any digit. It's been proven. And
can I do it with my finger? That's a digit. My finger's a digit. Yes.
Your digit is 9.
My digit is 9. I only have 9 digits? Oh no.
You only have 9. Where'd the other one go? So yeah, it's very, very interesting. And it's actually not hard to prove with a branch of number theory. Maybe in a future math I'll prove it or something. It's not actually very difficult, and it's not like we needed supercomputers to go through every single number in the universe, which actually isn't possible. So it's actually interesting. So that's the whole all comes back to 9 thing.
Nice. I had never heard that before. That's kind of cool.
It is. It's very.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. Well, let's get along to media.
I had a thing in my voice.
Media. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I've been spending some time at my parents' new place over in West Salem and trying to get them settled in. And so the other day we were there doing something with medical, and I turned on the Apple TV because Dad likes science fiction, and Dad's got some pre-dementia, so he likes to sit and watch TV. And I turned on Foundation on Apple TV Plus. I don't know if you're a sci-fi guy or not, but I think you are a little bit.
I am very much a sci-fi pup, but I have not heard of Foundation.
Really? Isaac Asimov's greatest works, the Foundation trilogy, the Foundation series from 19...
I probably have heard of that, actually. It's just...
Yeah.
I think I have.
Yeah, he wrote those novels almost a century ago now. And no one has ever taken it on to make it into a movie or a series or anything.
So they finally did.
Yeah, Apple TV finally did it. The problem is it's so huge in its scope. The stories span...
Well, so it has good breadth then, at least.
Yes, it has good breadth. The stories...
It has a scope.
Wow. The stories span 1,000 years of this civilization that he created way out in the far reaches of the galaxy. But it's really well done, and it's very interesting to watch. So if you have Apple TV, I highly, highly would recommend that you watch Foundation.
Oh, okay. Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
And that's all I've really been
That's
watching.
all you've had time to watch?
That's all I've had time to
like.
watch. Yep. So, how about you?
Well, for lunchies, I've continuing on with South Park. And of course, you might probably remember there's a point at which like each episode of the season is like it's a whole story, the whole thing. And they're not individual episodes. And I think I started around season 20, maybe season. So I'm rewatching season 20 now, and maybe season 19 started. So for any that's out there that's wondering, it's around season 19 or 20 that you have to start with episode 1 to because it's an entire story that keeps going. Anyway, so I'm doing that and continuing to watch the Goldbergs. And we had a slight debacle. Or debacle, as the case may be.
Debacle. Oh, no.
Debacle.
Debacle.
So, debacle or not debacle, that is the question.
Doubles, debacle.
We're in season 3, and the player did whatever it did, and it said, oh, here's season 4 that you're starting now. And so we started like, oh, we must have finished season 3. So we got about halfway through season 4, and it turned out that we found out that we didn't finish season 3. We actually only got halfway through season 3.
Silly computers.
I know. So we went back and now we're going through season 3 again. But I'm seeing things that it's like, I was like, I'm so confused. Like, why did that happen? Why is she? I thought she was with him and wanted to be with him, but now she's not. When did that happen? Then I remembered, because it happened in season 4. It hasn't happened yet.
Right. Yes.
So it's horrible. So we're back on season 3. We're watching it, and
did you go through a memory wipe to stop to not remember what everything you saw in memory? Season 4?
I totally wish I did not, though. I'm stuck. Yeah. But anyway, so that was that debacle, and we also started watching. So this is all over the internet. You've probably heard of it and maybe seen it. It's called Squid Game.
Oh, I've heard of it. I have not watched it. I know that they were making fun of it on Saturday Night Live just recently.
Oh, I will have to check that out. I'm going to write that down.
And I know that it's very violent. So it's interesting.
So we started watching it.
Okay.
This is why I bring it up. We started watching it. So it's all over the internet. Apparently there's like some challenges people are doing, and this is like the most amazing thing. This is like everyone's like, this is the best thing ever, this show. And they've only had 1 season. So my honey and I started watching it. We thought it was absolutely horrible. We didn't even finish watching the first episode.
Okay.
But everyone loves it, so maybe there's something wrong with me. Well, we know there's something wrong with me, so I don't know. So I don't know if it's a challenge or not, but I will be very interested to know what you think of it. Maybe it's just the first episode was a setup, and so we have to watch the next episode. I don't know, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my honey to watch the next episode because we were not happy. We didn't like it. It was a waste of our time.
Someone said it's like Hunger Games meets Saw. But
oh wow, okay,
they described it like that, and I mean the premise is that these are people that are competing in basically children's games, and if they fail, they get killed. They kill them. So that's the whole point. That whoever survives gets the money.
Okay, so yeah, we probably won't continue watching this, but but any for out there, I'm sorry if I offended you by saying I didn't like it, but there it is.
In fact, there was something on the internet. So it takes place in Korea, I believe.
Right, South Korea, I think. Yeah.
So there was a article on Ars Technica about this gal who, there's a scene where they flip over a card and there's a telephone number on it. Mm-hmm. And this was this gal's actual telephone number for her business.
Okay.
And she started getting like hundreds of calls an hour to know about where to go for Squid Games and things. So,
wait, this is a real thing. It's not on the show. I didn't know. I thought you were talking about the show.
No. This is a real thing. No, this is a real business, and they just randomly put a number up, and that happened to be her number for her business, and people started calling her like crazy. So,
well, I guess that just goes to prove there are like a ton of people out there trying to do the Squid Game challenges and stuff. So,
there's a lot of people that watch it. It's there's a lot going on there.
I mean, I do love Hunger Games, though, so maybe I'll give another chance. I don't know. So, any of you first out there, you know how I'm always trying to get first to interact with us.
That's right.
So any
Interact
first
with
out
us.
there,
Yep.
tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Should I keep watching it or not?
I'll have to give it a shot. And like I say, I always give shows at least 3 looks before I make a
figure it out.
decision. So,
So I will be actually looking forward to see what you hear what you say about it then, Bearly, because you did that and we didn't even give it one chance. So
didn't even get one. No.
But anyway, that's my media for the week.
All right. Yeah. So every fur listening, this is going to be a short episode because when we record, we'll only have a few days to edit this before we have to drive our little furry butts down to Reno. So that brings us up to Furries in the News.
Furries. They are furries. Oh, my fluff. In the news, in the news, in the news. Bark.
All right. And after all that...
I love how, like, every time these days you're just like, all right.
All right. Well, now we got that out of the way. There's not been a lot of furries in the news lately. I'm thinking that the biggest news item right now is, of course, BLFC happens this weekend. And there's these are upcoming events. Furry Retreat 2021, which is in... Where is that in? That is in Knight's Rest Retreat in Bristow, Oklahoma. And we also have the Golden Leaves Con, October 27th through the 31st.
Is it California?
No.
Oh.
It is in C'est la Vie Panorama Hotel in Salzburg, Switzerland.
That's interesting because C'est la vie means that's life in French, but it's in Switzerland. That's kind of cute, actually. So, okay. Very good.
Yep. And then coming up on the 29th.
You know what that means? That there are lots of holes in that logic because it's in Switzerland.
It's Switzerland.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Holes in the logic.
Cow.
Oh, my cow. And then on the 29th through the 1st of November is the Furry Blacklight 2021 in France. And that's at the Hyatt Regency at the Charles de Gaulle Roissy en France in France.
Okay.
I don't know if I said that right or if my accent got whacked up.
Vous êtes comme le patient, il faut lire le livre et sauter la vache avec le fromage. Toujours. And so for that, my accent is horrible, but any for that understood that, write us in and let us know how bad my accent is and if you, translate it for us.
I heard fromage, which I know is cheese.
Yeah, so. There was cheese in there, definitely. There's a lot of cheese because we're on this episode and there's lots of cheese.
There's a lot of cheese, cheese.
And socks. There are so many socks.
So many socks. So many socks.
Sock it to me.
Sock it to me.
Sock it to me?
All right. I think you should tell us a story.
You think I should do that?
I think you should tell us a story.
Hi. I've been doing frog and tord. Actually, I lied.
The frog. Yes.
Toward the frog. I've been doing some frog and toad stories for the last several times. So I thought I'd mix it up with it'll be a short story. I've read a few stories about Spot. Do you remember Spot the doggy?
Spot the doggy. Yep.
He's my friend Spot the pup. And so I have a little book here called Spot Says Good Night.
All right.
And it's a lift. It says on the cover here, it's a lift the flap book.
Ooh, lift the flap.
And so there's little flap things that it's interactive.
It's an interactive book. Nice.
It's an interactive book. So for all you first, since you can't see it, I will describe the little interactive things that happen.
Okay.
So Spot says good night. So Spot is waving at his alligator friend. He says, "Good night, Tom." And then he says to his, we don't know what he or she is because she or he is hiding behind a bush. But Spot says, "Good night, Helen." And so the bush is a little flap thingy, and you lift it down. And oh, hey, there's Helen, I think it's a it's not a rhinoceros, I'm not sure what it is, but Helen is a thing, and
Helen's
Helen the thing says, "See you tomorrow, Spot."
All right.
And then Spot puts his toys away like a good little pup.
That's a good puppy.
Good pup. And he's putting his little things away in his toy box, and the toy box has a flappy lid that you can unflap, and it says, and Spot says, "Good night, car."
Good night, car.
It's a good night car indeed. And Dad peeks into his room and says, "Are you ready for your bath, Spot?" And Spot is hiding behind a big book. And the big book is, of course, a flap. And the flap, you undo the flap thingy. Ooh, and the book, when you undo the flap thingy, the book has little bunnies and duckies on it that says 2 and 3. So apparently, I didn't even notice this before. It's really cute. Apparently, Spot was learning to count. So Dad says, "Are you ready for your bath, Spot?" And Spot is kind of laying there all sleepy. And he says, "Nearly. Okay. I am nearly." So I'm sure there's a horrible pun in there somewhere.
He's not far away from Lee. He's nearly.
He's nearly.
He's nearly. He's not far away at all.
If he's wearing his jeans, he is nearly.
Yes. Lee jeans. Do they still make those?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So if not, he is definitely not nearly anymore.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
So Spot is in his little bathy tub, and it says, "Now Spot is awake and having fun." It's supposed to be bedtime.
No.
Why is he awake and having fun?
I know.
And Spot is hiding behind a little towel thing, and you can lift up the little towel. And Spot says, "Boo! Oh, I'm so scared. Oh, are you scared, Bearly?"
Boo! He says, "Boo!" Don't cry.
Don't cry. Yes, I see what you did there.
Yes.
I'm very proud of you. I totally see what you did. So for any further that knows what just happened, write us in and say, "Oh yeah, I see what happened there." So, "Good night, Dad," Spot says. "I'm all clean." And Dad is behind it, reading behind his newspaper. And you can flip. It's a flap. You can undo the newspaper.
Flap.
It's a flip flap. Give a dog a bone. This old pup came barking.
Rolling
home. Yes. So, and you flip the flap, and Daddy says, "You smell nice, Spot."
Good.
Good.
Nice.
Yes.
Good, clean puppy. Yes.
Puppy says, "Good night, Ginger." And we don't know what he's saying goodnight to because there's just all these pillows. But look, one of these pillows is a flap thing. And you lift it up, and there's a kitty underneath. So apparently the kitty's name is Ginger. And Ginger says,
Kitty Ginger.
Kitty Ginger says, "I'm coming with you."
Okay. Oh, that's cute.
It is sweet. And then there's Kitty playing with a little ball of yarn, and Spot is saying, "Good night, Teddy." And Teddy apparently is hiding behind a curtain or something. You lift the curtain, and there's Teddy. And Teddy says, "I'm ready for bed too."
Well, good for you, Teddy.
Good for you, Teddy. These are very well-behaved little fluffs.
Is Teddy wearing a teddy?
Teddy? Let me flip back to the previous page and see. Oh, I missed a... Oh, no, I didn't miss a page. So that's a good question, because now I know I didn't miss a page. I was about to. Teddy is not wearing a teddy. Teddy is naked.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, oh my.
Newsworthy, all you furs have got to know. It's on CNN right now. Teddy is naked.
Naked Teddy.
It's very scandalous.
Scandalous indeed.
And so Spot doesn't want the scandal, so he goes on to say, "Good night, Mum." And there's the mum, and she's holding some flowers, and I can't open the little... Oh, and the little flap says, "Oh, Spot is with Kitty Ginger, and Teddy and Mommy says, I'll tuck you in."
Aww.
Okay. So then Puppy Spot goes to his little room and says, "Is there anyone else to say goodnight to?" And he's saying it out the window where the drapes are closed. And of course, the drapes are a flappy.
Flap. Imagine that. Yeah.
Imagine, you know how this book works. You open it up, and there's only the moon. So apparently, Puppy's not really talking to anyone. But then Puppy Spot says, "Oh, yes, good night, me." And there's Spot, and there's Kitty Ginger, and there's Teddy all snuggled up in the little bed, and that is the end.
That's a cute little story.
It is might be something to read at BLFC or something. In my story time.
That'd be kind of fun indeed.
Indeed.
Well, let's get to some jokes because we don't have enough in our podcast.
I know, the engineers and the quaddle-flumps.
Yeah.
Write that down, quaddle-flumps. That's a
quaddle-flumps. All right, that's been written down. I don't know what that is.
So next week's Fluffster's dictionary for all you furs.
I spelled it Quadalflumps. Quaddle-flumps.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Spelling bee. That I could see you hosting a spelling. Oh wow, there's a panel for you. Taebyn Spelling Bee, where you just throw out strange words for people to spell.
Oh my cow. Okay, all you furs, I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And we can have some fur contestants and
yes.
Okay, so it won't happen at BLFC, but
no, because it's
in the future.
Like we just came up with this right now. You heard it here, folks. We came up with an idea just like that. All right, just like that. So I'm going to start off. So do you have your stupid joke book?
I do have my stupid joke book. And for any furs that know what's happening now, the stupid joke book, or if you don't know, the stupid joke book is actually called Funny Jokes and Foxy Riddles. And I don't agree with any of that, any of those words, except for the 75 cents on the cover of the book, because it's worth no more than negative 75 cents. And it's a bunch of quote unquote jokes that I haven't read before, Pa. And so we're all hearing this for the first time, which means they could be really horrible or really horrible. So as we know.
Or funny. It could be funny. Yeah,
sometimes they are funny. Sometimes we have to have other furs explain it to us because we don't even get it. And Bearly, tell us about the jokes you have.
Oh, I search out for bad jokes. I scour the web and scour my joke. I have like 15 or 16 joke books that I pulled jokes out of to put into this.
So
section.
he purposely finds a bad joke. So take it.
I do.
Take it, whatever you will.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Right. So, I don't know why Marvel hasn't sold advertising on the Hulk.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, he's basically just a giant banner.
Is it because his name is like John Banner or something?
Bruce Banner, yes.
Bruce Banner. Okay, now I got it. Okay.
There you go. Yay! All right.
No, that's good. I love it. Well, speaking of Bruce Banner.
Yes.
Betty Banner says to Billy Banner that there's a lot of banners all of a sudden. They spawned
banner,
up.
Banner.
So Betty says that I wish I had enough money to buy an elephant. Billy Banner says, well, I mean, why on earth would you want an elephant? And Betty says, well, I don't. I just want the money. That was kind of horrible, actually. So there you go. That was kind of horrible.
Hey, do you know why you can't eat Wookiee meat?
I could take a guess, but I'm just going to let you say it. Why would you?
Take a guess.
Okay, Bearly. Ask me again.
Okay, do you know why you can't eat Wookiee meat?
Because Chewbacca doesn't play hockey?
No, because it's too chewy.
Yeah, okay, that's a lot better than what I came up with. Once there was an Indian chief by the name of Shortcake. The day he died, Squawberry Shortcake. Oh my God.
Squawberry Shortcake. Okay.
Oh, it's so bad.
On the day he died, Squawberry Shortcake. Oh, that was the joke.
That was the joke.
Yeah.
That was the joke.
Okay.
Quote unquote, air quotes, joke.
Yes. A grasshopper walks into a bar. The bartender says, "Hey, I'm going to serve you a drink named after you." The grasshopper replies, "You have a drink named Steve?"
Well, that's an amazing drink.
It's an amazing drink.
I actually like that. That's actually, okay, I'll accept that. That was actually good. And you know what's really good about Steve?
What?
Steve is so good that he asked Gene to ask Mary something. And Mary is good enough that she does. What is happening to me?
I don't know.
And Jean asks Mary, what is the name of your dog? Mary says, Ginger. Jean says, does Ginger bite? Mary says, no, Ginger snaps.
But I thought Ginger was a cat.
Steve did not approve of what just happened there.
No, I dig, you dig, we dig, she digs, he digs, they dig. It's not a great poem, but it's deep.
Oh, well.
Yes.
And you know, since they were digging it, they have your finger because your finger is a digit and dig. That was bad.
That was bad. Wow.
Let me go on and say that.
Yes.
The dad was asking his son Jack, what did you learn in school today? Jack said, I learned to say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
And dad said, you did? Jack said, yep.
Instead of saying yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really, you saw my face like I had no idea.
I know. It's like, he's like, what?
Okay.
I don't just, yeah. You know, I have to tell you, my hubby has no sense of direction.
Oh, yeah.
And we got into a big argument about it. And then he just packed up his stuff and right.
Okay, so say it again.
He's like, he's got no sense of direction.
Yeah.
He packed up his stuff and right instead of left.
Oh, it is right. Okay, I thought it was like a German joke or something, but
no. Instead of going left, he went right. No sense of direction. Wow.
Oh my cow. Ziggy, let us know what you think about that.
Please. Or Moritz.
You know what's happening? Do you know what's happening, Mr. Bearly?
Most of the time, no, I don't.
Especially when we're recording this podcast.
Or at a con. I have no idea what's going on.
No idea.
No idea.
Yeah. So in the room next door to me right now, you know what I just heard?
What did you just hear in the room next door to you?
I just heard Johnny and his grandma are in the room next door to me. And Johnny said, I fell over 20 feet last night. I was amazed by this. Like, I didn't know this was even
20
possible.
20 feet? That's a long fall.
It is a long time. I was amazed. But I kept my mouth shut because I wanted to hear what was happening here. So Johnny said that. And the grandma said, Mercy, were you hurt at all? And Johnny said, no, I was just trying to get to my seat in the movies. And I'm going to call that quits for me.
I'm going to call it. Yep, let's call it. Let's call this episode. I think we should totally call this episode.
Let's call it amazing that it survived, and amazing if any fur listens to it.
I know it's been a short ep this week, and I apologize for our listeners, but keep an ear out because the Pup Up podcast is going to happen at BLFC this weekend, and we're going to release it shortly after we record it, like that very same night or afternoon. We'll release it on the podcast, so you'll be able to hear a live version. We'll probably also be doing some on-the-spot interviews with people as we go around and furs, and we'll put that on the podcast as well. So we'll throw that up there as bonus material. So keep an eye on the BFFT chat to see where we're going to pop up. Like Taebyn said earlier, we don't have a panel room because... Why? We don't need a panel room because actually I would rather do the podcast out in the open. So like one of those big, huge
furs on the
rooms.
Street type thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we could set a table up in one of the secondary ballroom where they have tables and stuff set out for people to interact with one another. So we'll set it up over there.
And Lux had an idea about the lounge. What's the lounge she was talking about?
I think she's talking about the lounge in the casino, but I don't want to go into the casino and do that.
Yeah,
they might get mad at us.
Casino.
Yeah. But there's also the lounge outside of the main ballroom, too. We could set up some chairs and stuff there. So, I mean, there's places. So just keep an eye on the BFFT chat. We'll say where we're going to be, how we're going to be there, when we're going to be there. And so come on up and see us. Or come on up and see us sometime. Sometime. Don't forget our merch at bonfire.com. You can help support the show. Support the show. Support the show. You're muted again. Support the show.
Support the ship.
Support the ship. Yes. This ship is going down hard. Don't forget our merch. Like I said, you can help support the show through Patreon and Ko-Fi, or just by listening. We love you all. Moobarkfluff and stay furry. Taebyn, what are your parting words?
I say Moobarkfluff, and thank you everyone for listening. It's amazing that you do this. We hope we entertain. We hope you enjoy what we do here. We enjoy it. It's a lot of work, but we do it for you first and for us. So we, as a community and as a family. So we hope you enjoy it. We hope you learn. We hope you do other stuff or something because of it. So Thank you very much, all you. Yes. So thank you, everybody. We'll be hugging you tight and posies very soon. Hopefully. Well, hopefully, meaning hopefully you'll be there for us to do that, and that's great. So until next time, we bark at you next week. And Moobarkfluff, stay furry. We love you all. Bark, bark.
Bearly Furcasting is an Injured Nerves studio production and is found on all major podcast platforms, or can be heard directly at bearlyfurcasting.com. The opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and their guests, and no commercial compensation was granted. The Furcast is produced, recorded, and directed by me, Barely Normal, aka Mike Began, and is edited by myself and our associate editors, Rain Raccoon and Bixby Wolf. Opening and closing theme music, as well as some interstitial music, was created for Injured Nerves Productions for the use on the podcast by our music associate, Regday, with Damian Tanuki. If you would like to hear more music by Regday, you can search for Tweezerbeak on Bandcamp or Hoop Loop Tunes on SoundCloud. Other interstitial and background music by Shane Ivers through SilvermanSound.com, Gator Tots on SoundCloud.com, and the YouTube Free Use Library. You can send us a message via email at barelyfurcasting@gmail.com, or on our Telegram chat at BFFTchat, on Twitter, on our Facebook page, or on the barelyfurcasting.com webpage. The show is supported through donations at ko-fi.com/barelyfurcasting, or through Patreon at patreon.com/barelyfurcasting. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back and listen next week.